All right, at this time, we'll call the September 18th, 2023 Planning Board meeting to order. We have 5 of us, so we have quorum. If everybody will please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, move on the agenda item. Item 2A, approval of the meeting minutes from the August 21st, 2023 Planning Board meeting. Purpose of this agenda item is consider approval of the minutes from the Planning Board meeting on August 21st, 2023. Has everybody had a chance to review? If so, corrections, comments, or motions?
Move they be approved as written.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Anything before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion is approved. We'll move on to our public hearing section of the agenda. Public hearings are a time for petitioners to present requests and for the public to state their concerns or voice opinions in favor or in opposition to these requests. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium, sign in on the sheet provided, state your name and address for the record before speaking in regard to the request. We will move on to public hearing item 4A, zoning map amendment, Jeremy Medlin, Greenhawk, 6524 Burt Road, PIN 0646087028, REZ 2023-02. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider a requested zoning map amendment for a total of 65.738 acres located at 6524 Burt Road from the Wake County R30 zoning district to the town's residential agricultural zoning conditional zoning district, RACZD. Further information provided by staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Meeting forward. I am submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official record of the town. Before you tonight, we have RAZ 2023-02, a rezoning proposed by Jeremy Medlin with Greenhawk. As Mr. Petty stated, the request is to rezone the 65.738 acre property from the Wake County R30 zoning district to the residential agricultural conditional zoning district. This subject property is also under consideration for annexation as well as a preliminary subdivision, which you will hear later this evening. The petitioner is proposing to limit the number of allowed uses on the property to just single-family residential, open and civic space, and public utility buildings and use. The petitioner has also requested a number of site-specific conditions as follows. Number 1, development shall be limited to a maximum density of 1 dwelling unit per acre. Number 2, vinyl siding shall not be permitted. However, vinyl windows and other decorative elements and trim are permitted. Number 3, no unit shall be constructed with an exterior elevation or color palette that is identical to the unit on either side or directly across the street. Number 4, any side or rear building facade facing a public right-of-way shall have a covered or enclosed deck. Number 5, all homes shall include architectural shingles or decorative metal roof in a color that complements the development's approved palette. Number 6, all garage doors shall be raised panel with a minimum of 1/4 window area and carriage door hardware. Number 7, all homes shall include a covered porch with decorative posts to include a minimum of 24-inch massing at the base constructed of masonry material. Masonry will be present around the full perimeter of the home. However, the minimum measurement is applicable to the front elevation where grade changes occur from front to back. Number 8, all residence front doors shall have a minimum of 25% glazing with side lights and transoms. If there's no space for side lights or transoms, the door shall have a minimum of 75% glazing. Number 9, all roof lines shall be designed so that no one roof line is in a single mass element. Roofs shall also be broken up and punctuated with reverse gables and shed roofs. Number 10, facade treatment, a minimum of 3 included per dwelling unit. A, changes in exterior elements of the front facade such as brick, masonry, board and batten, horizontal or shake siding, minimum of 20% of the front facade. B, addition of front dormers, shed roofs or gables. C, addition of decorative trim, shake, cornice, horizontal trim, brackets, or air vents / windows on gables. D, addition of shutters, window trim, or window grids. E, addition of trellis or shed roof over a garage door. Number 11, the minimum amount of 10% of the site will remain as a natural open space. Number 12, there shall be no mass grading. This rezoning request is consistent with the 2040 land use plan classification at the property of rural residential and supports LUP policy 7.2. Staff recommends approval of the proposed zoning map amendment as it is consistent with the 2040 community vision land use plan and reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the following reasons. 1, the requested zoning map amendment is consistent with the 2040 community vision land use plan for the designation of rural residential. Number 2, the requested zoning district supports land use policy 7.2, encourage transitional uses and intensity in and around project boundaries. The zoning petition change to RACZD supports the growth of similar uses in the surrounding area. Number 3, the conceptual plan included with the request demonstrates compliance with many of the zoning conditions being offered and the goals of the rural residential development as described in the 2040 land use plan. Tonight, I believe we have several representatives of the project, and I am also available to answer any questions.
All right, thanks. Anybody have any questions before we open the public hearing? Seeing none, we will move on and open the public hearing. I would like to open the public hearing, and if there's anybody who wishes to speak in favor of REZ 2023-02, please come up to the podium, state your name and address, and before you make your comments.
Hi, Brendy Vega with Withers Ravenel, 115 McKeon Drive, Cary, North Carolina. I'm here with Jeremy Medlin and Ben Glass of Greenhawk Development and Dale Warenko of Withers Ravenel. And we're happy to answer any questions you have, but we understand that the site plan is also being heard. So if you have any questions regarding the rezoning or the site plan, we are happy to entertain those.
Great, thank you. Anybody have any
Appropriate.
questions for applicant? I think we're good.
Okay.
Anybody else wish to speak in favor? Not many more options out there, is there? All right. Seeing none, we'll switch to the opposition side. Does anyone wish to speak in opposition of REZ 2023-02? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for any questions, comments, concerns, or motions. And I know Brendy mentioned it, and I'm sure everybody saw it on the agenda. You know, later on we're going to be reviewing the actual subdivision plan. So, you know, now is the time for any of those things that may come up through that. If you have any questions on there too, as it pertains to how it correlates to their zoning.
I make a motion to recommend the approval of REZ 2023-02 zoning map amendment for 6524 Burt Road from the Wake County R30 zoning district to residential agricultural conditional zoning district, RACZD, as it is reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by staff.
I got a motion.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion, any questions before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to other business item 5A, preliminary subdivision plat. Vinci, is it Vinci or Vinci?
We've been saying Vinci.
We've
Vinci.
been saying it Vinci, but is
Okay.
that correct?
Oh, interesting. This is like dealer's choice. All
We all
right.
learned something tonight.
Well, we're gonna go with Vinci there, so just.
Why, yeah.
All right, Vinci subdivision, SUB PR 2023-03. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider a preliminary subdivision plat submitted by engineering firm Withers Ravenel for the Vinci subdivision located at 6524 Burt Road. Further information provided by staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. As Mr. Chair, I'm submitting the agenda abstract supporting documents into the official record of the town. As the chair has indicated, the Vinci subdivision is being proposed in the northeast of the approved McLaurin Farm subdivision, which is close to the intersection of Burt Road and Bunkhorn Duncan Road. Some of the highlights are the zoning of the property will be zoned per approval of the rezoning case that you just heard. It will be zoned to our residential agriculture conditional zoning district, or RACZD. The project is currently in our USA and does not currently have Fuquay-Varina zoning. The Vinci subdivision will be a conventional subdivision with 46 single-family detached lots. Public water is available, will be available to serve the property upon the acceptance of the McLaurin Farm subdivision infrastructure just to the south and east of the southeast corner of the project. The lots will be served by private septic systems. The sewer is not currently available in the area. And access for the subdivision will be provided by the extensions of both Meadow Walk Drive and Dublin Creek Drive, which are both part of the currently under construction McLaurin Farm subdivision. Staff recommendation is to make a motion to recommend approval of the Vinci preliminary subdivision plat as presented and recommended by town staff.
All right.
And again, they are, the developer and the engineer are both here, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
The only question I had was McLaurin Farms, the roads that are stubbing out of those, and I can't remember McLaurin Farms when it came through. How many phases were in that thing? Do you guys remember?
It's a single phase.
Single phase, okay.
Yes.
All right. I was gonna make them aware, like, hey,
Correct.
can't start yours till they get done with theirs, but
That's correct. And they
makes
are,
perfect sense.
they're also very close as well,
Yeah,
so.
gotcha.
I have a quick question on the sewer. What's the status of getting sewer out there? I mean, they're gonna be putting in private for now, but is there a long-term plan to get sewer out in that area?
Define long-term.
But is there a plan?
Not that I'm aware of currently. I know the water booster pump station is slated to be actually as a small offset of this project. That there's actually, they are, I guess, reserving land for the water pump station coming up from
Right from
Sanford.
Right.
But,
Or-
but
okay.
to my
Right.
knowledge, there are no immediate plans anyway for sewer to be extended
Okay.
to this
And
part.
we're
of the-
extending the water through the Sanford connection.
Yes.
Any more questions for staff before we entertain a motion? Anybody want to be so bold as to do a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the Vinci
Nice.
preliminary subdivision plat SCB-PR 2023-03 as presented and recommended.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or anything before we vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving right along, we'll move on to item 6A, Planning Staff Report. The purpose of just an item is to receive information on the disposition of the Planning Board's recommendation to the Town Board of Commissioners since the August 21st, 23 Planning Board meeting. Any questions there? No? All right, this time I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion? Got a second? Jay, did you second? Jay, second it. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.